This is going to be Hindi poetry, so if you don't understand Hindi, I'm sorry. Also, just take 20 seconds to find a partner near you who understands Hindi and can explain. Couple of words would also be in Urdu that I will able to help you understand. And the poets basically say that even if you understand Hindi, you will not able to understand the poetry. So I'm a 2013 alumni and Hindi poetry is what I love. पोएट्री एंड विथ लव थीम एंड लव वाली कोई पोएट्री नहीं है मेरे पास. मेरे लिए पोएट्री हमेशा से एक रिवोल्यूशन बिल्डिंग का काम करते रहा है, राइट. सो 3 हिंदी के सबसे बड़े जो पोएट हिंदी और उर्दू साहित्य के रहे हैं उसमें सबसे पहला नाम जो मेरे दिमाग में आता है दुष्यंत कुमार का. और दुष्यंत कुमार साहब कहते थे, कहाँ तो तय था चिरागा हर एक घर के लिए, कहाँ चिराग मयसर नहीं शहर के लिए. सारे पॉलिटिशियंस के वादे, हम ये देंगे हम ये देंगे. तो कहाँ तो तय था चिरागा हर एक घर के लिए, कहाँ चिराग मयसर नहीं शहर के लिए. वो मुतमईन है कि पत्थर पिघल नहीं सकता. मुतमईन मतलब बहुत कॉन्फिडेंट है वो मुतमईन है कि पत्थर पिघल नहीं सकता. मैं बेकरार हूं आवाज में असर के लिए. एंड देन एक पोएट रहे हैं जो पॉलिटिकल वर्ल्ड ने उनको बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं किया. अनफॉर्चुनेटली 2020 में वी ऑल्सो लॉस्ट हिम, राहत इंदौरी साहब. इनफैक्ट जिन जिन लोगों ने उनको इनवाइट किया किसी ने उनको पसंद नहीं किया. मतलब आईआईटी में भी गए तो उड़ा के चले आए उनकी. सच बोलते थे वो, इसलिए लोग पसंद नहीं कर पाए उन्हें. और आज के टाइम में जब हर कोई हर एक रिलीजन कम्युनिटी क्लेम कर रही है कि इंडिया उनका है, इंडिया उनका है. इंदौरी साहब ने 2019 में बहुत शानदार कविता लिखी थी. अगर खिलाफ है होने दो जान थोड़ी है, अगर खिलाफ है होने दो जान थोड़ी है, ये सब धुआं है आसमान थोड़ी है. लगेगी आग तो आएंगे घर कई जद में, लगेगी आग तो आएंगे घर कई जद में, यहां पे सिर्फ हमारा मकान थोड़ी है. मैं जानता हूं कि दुश्मन भी कम नहीं है, लेकिन हमारी तरह हथेली पे जान थोड़ी है. हमारे मुंह से जो निकले वही सदाकत है, हमारे मुंह से जो निकले वही सदाकत है. हमारे मुंह में तुम्हारी जुबान थोड़ी है. जो आज साहिबे मसनद हैं, मतलब जो तख्ते पे बैठे हुए हैं, जो बादशाह क्लेम कर रहे हैं अपने आप को लोग, जो आज साहिबे मसनद हैं कल नहीं होंगे, किराएदार हैं जाति मकान थोड़ी है. और द लास्ट लाइन जहां पे वो क्लेम करते हैं, सभी का खून शामिल है यहाँ की मिट्टी में, सभी का खून शामिल है यहाँ की मिट्टी में, किसी के बाप का हिंदुस्तान थोड़ी है. एंड देन एक लास्ट कविता है जो मैं बैठ के पढ़ता. ये एक जेएनयू के स्टूडेंट रहे हैं रमाशंकर यादव, जिनको लोग विद्रोही बोलते हैं. 1980 में लिखी ये कविता है. जब मैं पढ़ूंगा तो आप इजराइल सोचेगा, आप गजा सोचेगा, आप हर औरत बच्चे के ऊपर हो रहे अत्याचार के बारे में आप सोचेगा. वो कहते हैं, मैं साइमन न्याय के कटघरे में खड़ा हूं, प्रकृति और मनुष्य मेरी गवाही दे. मैं वहां से बोल रहा हूं जहां मोहनजोदाड़ो के तालाब की आखिरी सीढ़ी है. मैं वहां से बोल रहा हूं जहां मोहनजोदाड़ो के तालाब की आखिरी सीढ़ी है, जिस पर एक औरत की जली हुई लाश पड़ी है और तालाब में इंसानों की हड्डियां बिखरी पड़ी हैं. इसी तरह एक औरत की जली हुई लाश आपको बेबीलोनिया में मिल जाएंगी, और इसी तरह इंसानों की बिखरी हुई हड्डियां मेसोपोटामिया में भी. मैं सोचता हूं और बारहा सोचता हूं कि आखिर क्या बात है कि प्राचीन सभ्यताओं के मुहाने पर एक औरत की जली हुई लाश मिलती है और इंसानों की बिखरी हुई हड्डियां मिलती हैं, जिनका सिलसिला सीथिया के चट्टानों से लेकर बंगाल के मैदानों तक और समाना के जंगलों से लेकर कान्हा के वनों तक चलता जाता है. एक औरत जो माँ हो सकती है, बहन हो सकती है, बीवी हो सकती है, बेटी हो सकती है. मैं कहता हूं तुम हट जाओ मेरे सामने से, मेरा खून कलकला रहा है. मेरा कलेजा सुलग रहा है, मेरी देह जल रही है, मेरी माँ को, बहन को, बीवी को, बेटी को मारा गया है, मेरी पुरखिनें आसमान से आर्तनाद कर रही हैं। मैं इस औरत की जली हुई लाश पर सर पटक कर जान दे देता अगर मेरी एक बेटी ना होती दोस्तों। और बेटी है जो कहती है कि पापा तुम बेवजह ही हम लड़कियों के बारे में इतना भावुक होते हो। हम लड़कियां तो लड़कियां होती हैं जो बड़ी होने पर चूल्हे में लगा दी जाती हैं। ये इंसानों की बिखरी हुई हड्डियां रोमन गुलामों की भी हो सकती हैं दोस्तों, और बंगाल के जुलाहों की भी, या अति आधुनिक वियतनामी फिलिस्तीनी बच्चों की। साम्राज्य आखिर साम्राज्य होता है, चाहे रोमन हो, ब्रिटिश हो, या अत्याधुनिक अमेरिकी साम्राज्य, जिसका एक ही काम होता है कि पहाड़ों पर, पठारों पर, नदी किनारे, सागर तीरे, मैदानों में इंसानों की हड्डियां बिखेर दे। जो इतिहास को 3 वाक्यों में पेश करने का दावा करता है कि हमने धरती पर शोले भड़का दिए, कि हमने धरती में सरारे भर दिए, कि हमने धरती पर इंसानों की हड्डियां बिखेर दी। लेकिन मैं स्पार्टकस का वंशज, स्पार्टकस की प्रतिज्ञाओं के साथ जीता हूं कि जाओ कह दो सीनेट से कि हम सारी दुनिया के गुलामों को इकट्ठा करेंगे और एक दिन रोम आएंगे जरूर, एक दिन रोम आएंगे जरूर, लेकिन हम कहीं नहीं जाएंगे, क्योंकि ठीक इसी समय जब मैं यह कविता आपको सुना रहा हूं, लैटिन अमेरिकी मजदूर महान साम्राज्य के लिए कब्र खोद रहा है और भारतीय मजदूर उसके पालतू चूहे के बिलों में पानी भर रहा है। एशिया से लेकर अफ्रीका तक घृणा की जो आग लगी है वो आग बुझ नहीं सकती है दोस्तों, क्योंकि वो आग एक औरत की जली हुई लाश की आग है। वह आग इंसानों की बिखरी हुई हड्डियों की आग है। इतिहास में पहली स्त्री हत्या, आप लोग भी सोचिएगा कब हुई है। इतिहास में पहली स्त्री हत्या उसके बेटे अपने बाप के कहने पर की, जब दग्नि ने कहा, ओ परशुराम, मैं तुमसे कहता हूं कि अपनी मां का वध कर दो, और परशुराम ने कर दिया। इस तरह पुत्र पिता का हुआ और पितृ सत्ता आई। पिता ने अपने पुत्रों को मारा। जानवी ने अपने पति से कहा कि मैं तुमसे कहती हूं कि मेरी संतानों को मुझ में डुबो दो, और राजा शांतनु ने अपनी संतानों को गंगा में डुबो दिया। लेकिन शांतनु जानवी का नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि राजा किसी का नहीं होता, लक्ष्मी किसी की नहीं होती, धर्म किसी का नहीं होता, सब राजा के होते हैं। गाय भी, गंगा भी, गीता भी और गायत्री भी। और ईश्वर तो खैर राजा के घोड़ों को घास ही छीलता रहा है। बड़ा नेक था बेचारा राजा का स्वामी भक्त, पर अफसोस है कि अब नहीं रहा, बहुत दिन हुए मर गया। और जब मरा तो राजा ने उसे कफन भी नहीं दिया, दफन के लिए 2 गज जमीन भी नहीं दी। किसी को नहीं पता है कि ईश्वर को कहां दफनाया गया। ईश्वर मेरा अंतत्व गत्वा, और उसका मरना ऐतिहासिक सिद्ध हुआ, ऐसा इतिहासकारों का मत है। इतिहासकारों का मत यह भी है कि राजा भी मरा, उसकी रानी भी मरी और उसका बेटा भी मर गया। राजा लड़ाई में मर गया, रानी कढ़ाई में मर गई, और बेटा, कहते हैं बेटा पढ़ाई में मर गया। लेकिन राजा का दिया हुआ धन धन नहीं रहा, धन वचन हुआ और बढ़ता गया। और फिर वही बात, हर सभ्यता के मुहाने पर एक औरत की जली हुई लाश और इंसानों की बिखरी हुई हड्डियां। ये लाश जली नहीं है, जलाई गई है दोस्तों। ये हड्डियां बिखरी नहीं, बिखेरी गई हैं। ये आग लगी नहीं, लगाई गई है। ये लड़ाई छिड़ी नहीं, छेड़ी गई है। एक बात कहूं, ये कविता भी लिखी नहीं, लिखवाई गई है। और जब कविता लिखी जाती है तो आग भड़क जाती है। मैं कहता हूं तुम उसे इस आग से बचाओ मेरे लोगों, पूरब के लोगों, मुझे इस आग से बचाओ, जिनके सुंदर खेतों को तलवार की नोकों से जोता गया, जिनकी फसलों को रथों के चक्कों से रौंदा गया। तुम पश्चिम के लोगों, मुझे इस आग से बचाओ, जिनकी स्त्रियों को बाजारों में बेचा गया, बच्चों को चिमनियों में झोंका गया। तुम उत्तर के लोगों, मुझे इस आग से बचाओ, जिनके पुरखों की पीठ पर पहाड़ लाद कर तोड़ा गया। तुम सुदूर दक्षिण वालों, मुझे इस आग से बचाओ, जिनकी बस्तियों को दावाग्नि में झोंका गया, नावों को अतल जलरस्सियों में डुबोया गया। तुम वे सारे लोगों मिलकर मुझे बचाओ। जिसके खून के गारे से पिरामिड बने, मीनारें बनी, दीवारें बनी, क्योंकि मुझको बचाना आज उस औरत को बचाना है जिसकी लाश मोहनजोदाड़ो की तालाब के आखिरी सीढ़ी पर पड़ी है। मुझको बचाना उन इंसानों को बचाना है जिनकी हड्डियां तालाबों में बिखरी पड़ी हैं। मुझको बचाना अपने पुरखों को बचाना है। मुझको बचाना अपने बच्चों को बचाना है। तुम मुझे बचाओ। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, Jay. For all of you who need translations of that, definitely catch it after this. I'm excited to now invite our next performer, Sukriti, all the way from Bangalore. Give it up for her. And she's going to talk about something really interesting around student journalism. So, over to you, Sukriti.
Okay. I'll give you my introduction a little later, but I'll start off with my slides. Just bear with me for a little bit and hopefully it'll make sense. Or maybe I should do my introduction while the slides are getting done. Okay, I'm Sukriti. I'm an 18er from Bangalore. I taught in a government school classroom, grades 5, 6, and 7. I was an English and SST teacher. Passionately in love with history and saw my kids, open their textbooks day in, day out and say, "Didi, ये नहीं पढ़ना। दीदी हिस्ट्री बोरिंग है, बहुत टाइम लेती है, बहुत रट्टा करना पड़ता है, बहुत याद करना पड़ता है, इट्स रियली बोरिंग." एंड सो अ लॉट ऑफ व्हाट आई did to make SST come alive in my classroom, and that's what led me to my organization via News Didi. And today I'm going to take 5 minutes, strict 5 minutes, to tell you a little bit about what student journalism can do. This is news. Should this be? 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 And finally, this is news. Should this be? Right? Students have the ability to tell incredible stories, but there's always an asterisk at the end of that sentence, and that asterisk usually is that these stories are very rarely found in mainstream media. And at Via News Didi, this is a graphic we're really passionate about. We made it on Canva all by ourselves. But what really makes us passionate about it is that we are the information we consume. Thousands of students across the country are consuming information that is fake, that is misleading, that is harmful to their mental health, and it makes me question what kinds of citizens do these students grow up and become. And there's really a lot that's very problematic about the information they consume, right? The Reuters Digital News Report 2024 found that 54% of Indians use YouTube to get their news, 48% get it on WhatsApp. So we're actively shifting from news being TV, news being newspapers, news being websites. There's also that stat from 2019 where India has more fake news than any other country in the world. And so you're not really getting it from trusted sources, which means that there's a very high possibility that it's fake. There's also the stats about just journalism as a whole. 180 countries, and we rank 159. And of all our neighbors, Bangladesh is the only country that has a worse press freedom index than us. Pakistan is performing better than us, in fact. And finally, within journalism, of course, the industry is also deeply flawed. Male journalists just have far more access to the news, far more access to putting out the news. 65% first bylines are male journalists, while 35% are female journalists. We want the media landscape to look different. We do not want it to look like this, and we do not want our students consuming this. And so, the jargon heavy, tagline of my organization is we empower students to be responsible consumers and innovative creators of media for a better tomorrow. But really it's this. I want to help students understand how the world around them is changing and how they can change it for the better. That's all I want to do. And so what I'm here to tell you today is what student journalism can do. The stories that you saw before, the stories that you will see are stories that students from grades 5 all the way till grade 12 have written as they worked with me. And each and every one of these stories teaches me that student journalism can create awareness. Whether it's awareness about students' job readiness as they enter the market, the disparity in what they study in their classrooms versus what the industry needs, or whether it's awareness about Pride Month and how we are all really gung-ho about how we need to celebrate Pride while rainbow washing is happening all around us and students really don't know about it. Student journalism can help tell stories that need attention, whether it's the story of being queer in an Indian classroom and what that experience looks like, or the story of wanting to play sports but being forced to play it in a skirt and hence quitting sports altogether because you're just not comfortable. Student journalism can help celebrate achievements, whether it's the achievement of pitching an organization to investors all at the age of 16. That little student up there is my team member Arya, who's currently studying design at Georgia. Or it's the story of the Mulla Mutha project revival, which a lot of Avsara students pioneered, and a student who was part of that project wanted to write a story about how they took on the mantle of cleaning the river that's right next to them. Student journalism can help you ask the right questions, whether these are questions about tribal communities disappearing and integrating into the mainstream and what they lose in the process, or questions about bullying, present in every single classroom. So what do we really do about it? Student journalism can help build the confidence to create, whether it's a podcast that's now present on every mainstream podcasting platform that's run by a 9th grader who's talking about biomimicry, which is what industries and tech learns from animals and nature and the things they see around them. Or a student that is an intern at a mainstream publication, thanks to a program that she did, learned how to write opinions and now writes them for mainstream media. And lastly, student journalism helps you show a way forward, whether it's financial literacy for the young and what students really need to keep in mind as they learn the basics of 5 rupees, 10 rupees, how do we save it? Or a solutions-focused story on a small NGO that's cleaning the streets of Hyderabad and a student that lives in that street and is really proud of how his street is clean. And so finally, I spent the last 4 years trying to transform the media landscape in my own little way. My little question to you is, do you want to hop along for the ride? And QR code, as always, if you all feel the need to scan, check out other stories my students have written. I have a stall at 2 p.m. up on the 9th floor. So if you're feeling really bored and wanting to wait in the lift line, please do come and check it out there as well. But yeah, thank you so much for giving me your time today.
News and media. Great. Our next performer is Gautam, a 2013 fellow from Hyderabad. I remember when I started off by framing this as a space that people are testing ideas for the first time. So Gautam's here to do something like that. So give it all the love that you can. Anti-trauma, social organizing theory, a think out loud.
Thank you. I think I have. Is it working? Hello? How do I have to take this? Okay. Hello, everybody. Pretty nervous. I don't know how yesterday you guys were so smooth, yeah? Actually, when do I finish? 2 minutes. Okay, cool. Okay, we'll start. Go to the next slide. Yeah. Okay, 2 fellows. Think of 2 fellows who are doing something completely different, right? Who are fighting something totally unrelated to each other, right? You have the names? Yeah? Next slide. What if I can convince you that they're all fighting the same issue, right? How? Next slide. All of us. What if I can tell you all of us are fighting trauma, right? Next. So that's where this is not some truth that I'm telling you. This is an exploration, right? I want to think out loud with you. Anti-trauma social organizing theory. What is it? Let's look at it.
Trauma is not what happened to you. Trauma is what happens inside you as a result of what happened to you, right? So basically, let's say there is child abuse, right? Or let's say there is poverty. Because of poverty, there is some issue that's happening, right? All of that, how does it translate to us humans or animals? It translates as trauma, right? So any oppression that you face, how does it reflect to us as trauma, right? Let's say, just take the case of somebody who's 100% selfish, right? Who's just looking to make money and working for themselves, right? Even they are fighting trauma. How? They don't want to get into the trap of the degrading life of poverty, right? So that is still preventing trauma. They're trying to prevent trauma. So even they are fighting. So, but why do I say almost all of us are fighting trauma? We'll come to that, right? That's one concept. Let's look at the second concept. Just even otherwise, all our fight is one. How? Let's take the case of my friend Binoy, right? He runs this organization called Y Ultimate, which is a sports for development organization, right? Now, is Binoy looking only at training kids for sports? Not really. If you sit with him, you will hear a lot of stories about each different issue, very different issues. For example, just last week, he's fighting with the police for harassment, which is completely unjustified, right? There is also drug abuse problem in the community that he's fighting, or protecting women child from doing what they love, right? All these are completely different issues, but when you look at it, he's just fighting for, sports for development, right? So my claim is all our issues are super interconnected. Our world is complex, and hence all our fight is one. So let's fight the traumatizing system as one, right? But wait, have you guys heard of Bulleh Shah, Sufi poet? Yeah, nice. I'd like to sing a few lines. There's one really, really interesting poem that resonated with me. It goes like, पढ़ पढ़ इल्म ते खादल हूँ विकद अपने आप नु पढ़ियाना वज वज लड़ने मंदिर मसीती ते कदे मन अपनी विच वटियाना. Sorry if I screwed up Punjabi, but point that he's making is he's exhorting himself to look within, right? You go study scriptures, you go study a lot of literature, but are you studying yourself, right? That's the question that he's trying to ask. So, point I'm trying to make is trauma something that's in the external world that we are fighting? Not really, right? There is also a fight inside. Please, inside self, right? We are both receivers as well as givers of trauma. I mean, not the right framing, but yes. Let's look at something like what happens when you are taught to look down or hate a person, right? Let's say Gautam, right? I've been trained to look at women as less than me, right? Eventually, like experiences gather, and I say, like I start hating some women, I start hurting, let's say, right? Then what happens? How does it change me, right? It makes hating acceptable, or rather, it makes hurting acceptable and hating a habit, right? So eventually, even people that I really love, I could hate, right? Or I could even hurt. This is how probably you get stories of fathers killing their own daughters, even though they put so much love and effort into raising them, right? Yeah. So now, homework. Love giving homeworks. We saw the impact, or at least we thought through the impact of what hating gives us. Now, let's look at or I would love it if you guys can think about what would ignoring issues give you. How would that change you, right? A very interesting thought process. Please do that. Next slide. Yeah. So, very important point is, even if we fight oppressors, right, we have to be really, really careful not to become oppressors or not to perpetuate trauma. So, it's not just what we are doing, even how we are doing, we have to be really careful in not to perpetuate trauma. Let's go next slide. Now, so like Adishi is already looking at me. Complex trauma, another really important topic, something that we definitely have to avoid. If trauma is something that we have to fight, complex trauma is something that we should eliminate, right? We can talk about that a little later offline. Next slide, please. So, dark triad personality spectrum, even more important concept. I'm really like struggling not to talk about this, but very important concept. Please explore. So, redesign all our systems to be anti-trauma. Right? That's my one main message, right? How? I think the solution lies in looking at the indigenous life. right? How do they live life? How do they look at each other? How do they look at themselves, etc., right? So next slide, please. So last message I want to leave you with. I dream of humans becoming a nurturing keystone species where we promote all life. There's one famous Tamil saying, Pagutundu Palluyu Rombudal, Nulor Tototril Ellam Talai, meaning all the knowledge that people have gathered, the most important thing is to promote biodiversity, right? Said some 2000 years old. So I think we should go to that. I think it's a really important concept. I think we need to get it right. So please feel free, come debate. Again, this is not something I'm claiming to be truth and I'm telling you. This is something I want to refine. So yeah, let's talk more.
Thank you so much. Have you ever tried to talk about an idea in 5 minutes? It's really difficult. It's very, very difficult. So I have to give it up to people who are really rushing through slides and trying to meet the time, and really appreciate it because we want to get through all the amazing performances today. Great. So our next performer is Aman. I love it when a performer comes on stage with a guitar. So he's going to do a little book reading as well as he's got a few songs lined up for us. So give it up for Aman.
Hello everyone, my name is Aman. I'm 2020 cohort alumni from Pune. Today I'll be sharing, I forgot. Today I'll be sharing the journey of publishing 2 books with my 40 students. These are the 2 books. Would you like to hear this story? Okay then. Cool. So this was the year 2021, December, and I was second year fellow teaching 9th grade students. And we had to design one project. We were reading this book called Fatal Accidents of Birth, which is written by Harsh Mandal. We were quite amazed and inspired by the book. And that's when we thought, why not students also capture such stories in their communities? The community of Mundwa, which is a community in Pune. And that's when this idea came up that why don't students interview their own community? They take their interviews and then do something about it. But then I thought just taking interviews would just go in the waste, in the pile of papers which goes in the waste in all the project work. So I thought, why not take that book, take that stories and actually put it in a book format, in a published format. And that's when this journey of first book started, The Unheard Voices of Mundwa. So we designed a project where every week we used to come up and improve on our work. So first week we drafted what all questions we'll be asking from the street vendors of Mundwa. Second, we thought, let's interview each other and figure out how you will be interviewing. Third week, the students actually went to the streets and actually took the interview. So there's one funny incident that the students were really scared to go into the streets because from childhood they are taught कि strangers से बात नहीं करना होता है. So they were scared. So they went in a group of 10. And then the street vendor, that person got scared कि ये क्या करने आ रहे हैं मेरे साथ. And then they figured out an optimal way that if we go 2 to 3 people, then it will be right opportunity. So they went, they took the interviews. And in this way, 40 students of my class took 40 interviews. They brought all those stories back. They drafted those stories. They enhanced those stories. And we had one class where every single student was sharing about how their experience was taking the interview and drafting the story. And that was a bit emotional for me because in that, mainly the students were sharing how they found that they are more privileged than the people in the streets. They were able to make that difference, how much privileges they have. And in that way, their project got over. They put their work together. 40 stories were there with me. And then what I did was simply gave those stories, improved that with the help of student leaders, and gave the manuscript to different people, got the feedback from them, and in around 6 to 8 months, we got some level of manuscript which was ready to publish. But still, it was not published because a lot of feedback was there. So in that time, I got one learning, and that was कि अगर आप अपने students को, if you tell them कि this is the big thing which you want to do, then they don't let you forget it. So because I told कि we'll publish the book on Flipkart and Amazon, they kept on reminding me कि भैया book किधर है? So that made me push through कि अब तो we have to publish. So even when my fellowship was getting over, a lot of things were there, but still I took out time because there were students who were keeping me accountable. So we published in July 2022. That was the first book when we published. And we thought next day कि अब तो हम famous हो जाएंगे. People will ask our book. They will buy the book. And that's where the second learning came, that until you don't share your own story, no one else will. So we started sharing our story on Instagram. We kept on tagging Teach for India, I Teach, everyone, so that they listen to our story. And somehow they created one video for our journey. And that's when we shared it to different people, and multiple opportunity we got then. Citibank bought 100 books from us. Then we put our stall on different all-staff meetings. We have a stall right outside also, which you can buy the book from. And students went to 10th grade. मेरी fellowship खत्म हो गई. I went out and we were happy. And the first book was finished. We sold around 350 books overall. And suddenly, after 1 year, in 2023, May or June, we got an email from Vittorio Lim. Well, we are like, who is this person? So we got this email, Vittorio Lim. He was saying that I was staying in Taj Hotel, Mumbai. And what I found was, I read your book over there in Taj Hotel, Mumbai. And I was really inspired by these short stories. What I want to do is I want to help these street vendors by providing monetary support. And we discussed with him, and we realized, we had a meeting with him, and we realized कि हाँ, this is a real person. And he was ready to give 1 lakh rupee to us. So he gave us 1 lakh rupees to us, and we designed a second project where we were giving 6,000 to each street vendors. So whoever we interviewed in the first book, we were giving 6,000. The students were monitoring their progress, ki how in 3,000, how much improvement they did in their business. Then they gave their next installment. And in that way, whatever business improvement they have done, those 15 stories have been captured in the second book, Unheard Voices, Finally Heard. Yeah, so that was the last learning which I want to share is, if you do something with your heart, something magical is bound to happen. And I will end with one simple song, something which kept us motivated all throughout this journey. And I won't use mic, so please.
Please.
कदमों पे तेरे बादल झुकेंगे जब तक तुझे एहसास है जागीर तेरी तेरा खजाना ये तश्नगी है ये प्यास है क्यों रोकना अब ये कारवां जाए वहीं ले जाए जहां बेसब्रियां बेसब्रियां क्या ये उजाले क्या ये अंधेरे दोनों से आगे मंजर तेरे क्यों रोशनी तू दूरों तलाशे तेरी मशाले अंदर तेरे है क्यों ढूंढना पैरों के निशान जाए वहीं ले जाए जहां बेसब्रियां बेसब्रियां
Thank you so much, Aman. That was lovely. Again, you have merchandise shops where you can go and learn more about his work. You can go and learn more about the book. So please do that. Our next performers are Shivani and Atishi. Yes, give it up for them, everyone. 2013 from Mumbai. Over to you, Chris. Do you need two mics? Okay, perfect.
Hi everyone, that's the top act for us. It's very all right. On the stage. All right. We'll start with a little story. It's 2012 and I'm at the Family Business Annual Day. And this woman who I've never seen before comes up to me, clutches my arms, has tears in her eyes. At this point, I'm slightly freaking out, not sure what to do, and says, Shivani, I don't care what happens. You need to make sure my husband keeps volunteering in this new coach program. I am quite confused. I have no idea who her husband is and why this woman wants him out of the house even more. She realizes my awkwardness and very kindly goes on to explain. She says that Shivani, my husband, would come back from work late, kick off his shoes, sit on the sofa and open up his laptop, completely lost in work. No time for us, no time for the kids. Since he's been going to schools and teaching other children about science and how to think like a scientist, he still comes home late, don't get me wrong, but he comes home and he talks to our kids. He tells them about his life, but more importantly, he's started asking them questions. For me, that was a bit of a shocker. When we started Coach, we thought we might have some impact on the kids in the schools we worked with, but I didn't think that 24 hours of volunteering over 3 months could change someone's home life in such a profound way. That for us was a beginning. Today, we now work with about 1,500 volunteers a year. Some work in schools, some in other spaces. And we found this model playing out again and again. And Atishi, who leads all of our volunteer programs and learning experiences, will tell you a little bit more about how that works.
Thank you. So, our volunteers, as Shivani was mentioning, they dedicate 30 hours within 3 to 6 months' time in a year doing impact-generating work. They usually come to contribute to the community, see an impact on the community, and see an impact of the efforts they are putting, right? And
That's fine. You keep going.
okay. And what they usually do to get these programs going, for example, for planting trees in green spaces or running workshops of debating in schools, teaching the art of debating, they usually pick up the skills of teaching a set of students together, communicating effectively, etc. But what they also gain is the confidence of navigating challenges. What this looks like is very different for each volunteer. And these are the voices that we have heard from our volunteers in different feedback and closing sessions, etc. One is they have become more considerate about the surroundings they have, whether at personal space or at work. They're finding themselves more articulate during discussions and forming their arguments at home or at work. Here's the question for all of you. Have any of you ever done something with a goal in mind and ended up doing something which was totally unexpected? Right? Here's a personal story. I picked up Madhubani art during my TR5 years, and this was totally to get more connected to my Bihari roots and understanding my culture. And I started enrolling in a course. I started understanding the meaning of each intricate design. What helped me was it centered me. It made me calmer and more mindful of the spaces or the user experiences or the course or the curriculum that I was designing. But what it also helped me was with being more mindful of the thoughts that were coming to my mind, the flow of thoughts while designing a strategy, for example, or for preparing for this Darbar or speaking in front of all of you, maybe. So yeah, all of these things are the things that happened just by doing Madhubani art for 15 to 20 minutes during a meeting and on sticky notes that too. So yeah.
I think for me, what's an interesting common thread, and it's something we think about a lot in Dharohar, is life is short. We're all busy. We all have goals. We're running really fast, and we want every minute of every day that we do to be intended towards something. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have a purpose, but I'm here to make a pitch to you guys to create 30 hours in the next 6 months for yourselves where you do something that is pointless. Do it because it's fun. Do it because it's joyful. Because like our volunteers, like Atishi, you'll find that it helps you become in all kinds of ways which you and I can't predict today. This morning in the leadership forum, Nipun Mehta was talking about how so much of the most important work to build a better world is internal. And I'd put it to you that excellence and self-transformation sometimes doesn't come from these high effort, high intention activities. It might be skateboarding for me, it might be sailing for you, it might be doodling, it could be whatever you like. But what is going to be that one thing that you can spend 30 hours on, whether all in one go or whether in 10-minute chunks, that's going to help you become someone you didn't even know you wanted to be? Thank you guys so much for your time.
Hello everyone. Today I'm here to tell you a story. The story of how I found my passion with dance. The story starts with the young guy of age 5. He was introduced to the world of dance last year, but then it was called wrestling. And one day he saw his sister dancing with basketball dance. I could have believed he was amazed by the world of classical dance. It was amazing how the sound of the people schools it's amazing. And how like rituals flow. It was amazing. And beautiful gestures, beautiful costume. And then Dajan found his passion in life. And then he entered into the world
थोड़ा चला जाए रे जहाँ नहीं जाना था ये वहीं चला हाय रे उम्र का ये ताना बाना सब सुनवाई रे तो बाके जो बनाया नमक लगाए रे के देखे न भाने न जाने न दाए रे दिशा हरा क्या मुंबो का मुंडा रे सारे भेद जाए दीवारी प्रेम कोई सिंध लागे अगर मगर बारी बारी जिया उठाले जिया नहीं गेंद लागर माटी पूरे चंदन सा माथे पे सजाए रे तुम्हारी जो बनाया नमक लगाए रे कितने के तुम्हारे न जाने न गाए रे दिशा भरा क्या मुंडो का मुंटारे
Decided to face a problem. We put around it. Forced him to stop the dance. As it was needful then, how it near as he still dancing.
আমার হাত বান্ধিবি পা বান্ধিবি মন বান্ধিবি কেমনে আমার চোখ বান্ধিবি মুখ বান্ধিবি পরাণ বান্ধিবি কেমনে আমার হাত বান্ধিবি পা বান্ধিবি মন বান্ধিবি কেমনে আমার চোখ বান্ধিবি মুখ বান্ধিবি পরাণ বান্ধিবি আমার চোখ বান্ধিবি মুখ বান্ধিবি পরাণ বান্ধিবি
We decided to fight the society. We decided to follow his passion. And then we decided to spread this awareness to the people all around. We started this own project, with the vision of one day our future generations will be aware of Indian classical art forms.
Thank you so much, Tushar. Tushar is a grade 12 student from Delhi. The form of dance that you saw is Odissi, and he has a project called Project Akriti. You can talk to him a little bit more about it, sort of spreading awareness around different dance forms, specifically also challenging the notion around dance and femininity. So please do catch him after this Darbar to know more. Thank you so much, Tushar. That was beautiful. I can see you shivering, so you can just, that was amazing. Thank you so much for putting yourself out there. Great, so we have another set of, they're all giddy with excitement over there, I can see them. Another set of student performers. Give it up for Ayushi, Nidhi and Saloni from Delhi again. Their performance is titled Nukkad Natak on education. Over to you.
Listen up, people, it's time to act. Together we rise and that's a fact. What's the mission and what's the goal? Justice for all, justice for all. No more silence, no more fear. Change is coming right now, right here. Who will make it? Who will stand? We will, hand in hand for a better tomorrow, for a better today. Join us now, don't delay. Good morning, class. Today, we are going to talk about dreams. But first, why so serious? Dreams, what's the point, ma'am? Dreams don't pay bills. And of girls like us, ma'am, dreams and at our doorsteps. Why? Why do you both feel this way? Because it's the truth, ma'am. My father says school don't help us in money. He wants to me quit and work at garage full time. Sometimes I wonder he's right. You know, ma'am, my mother says education is luxury, especially for girls. She says I will get married soon anyway. So, why waste time in school?
Okay. Look at these stones. Their lives, the burden society place on you, right? Family responsibilities, poverty, expectations, they feel heavy, don't they?
It feels like my whole life. It's the weight of everyone's expectations.
Exactly. Now, tell me, if you let these stones to decide everything, would you ever be able to move forward?
Probably not. But what can we do, ma'am? Society does not care about our dreams.
Education is not for you. Don't you dare to dream of it. It's for the broad daylight, not for the destined darkness of the night.
Who said that?
That's the voice of society's expectations. It tells you what you can't do without knowing your potential. Do you know what is the stronger than that voice?
What, ma'am?
The voice inside each of you, the one that say, I deserve a chance. Raju, what would you do if that voice was not holding you back?
I would become an engineer to make machines and help people.
Raju, dream on, Raju, dream on. You're nothing but the destiny's spawn.
Don't listen that voice. And what about you, Pooja?
I would love to become a teacher, just like you, ma'am. I would show girls like me that they can be anything what they want.
Pan, ladle, walls and broom. You're meant for the kitchen, not the classroom.
See, both of you have your dreams worth fighting for. Society's voice maybe drown it out, but the power to change your lives starts with believing in yourself.
But how, ma'am? Even if we believe our families and society, they won't let us.
Okay, let's make a pact. Every time society say you can't, but you say I will. Every time you face a roadblock, but remind yourself that education is your right and no one can take that away from you.
I will become a teacher. I will become an engineer.
And I will be here to support you no matter what. Education is not just a privilege, it's your right.
The right to dream belongs to us all.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Again, if you want to know more about their project and Nukkad Natak and just the impact that that has on conversation and thought, please reach out to them. They're around. They'll be here after Darbar. Great. From one student performance to another, give it up for Omkar, Mohammad Samir and Mohammad Ashad, students coming up on stage to sing us a few tunes. No, just here, take this. It's on.
कोई तो हाथ में पकड़ा ऐसे ठीक है ठीक है लगा दो ना ठीक है जोर से बोलना और आपको जोर से यहाँ पे ठीक है माइक
You gave her the music, huh? Yeah.
I gave her.
No, she's doing it. She's doing it. Standing there. I think we're gonna need a nice round of cheering, guys.
I spent a long time running, I never knew then what I know now. That the fruits they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show when we plant the seeds then, and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around. Yeah! Woo! Whatever grows will grow. Whatever dies will die. Whatever works will work. Whatever flies will fly. Whatever fails will fail. What's meant to serve will serve. I am planting seeds. It's like your whole life. You've been training for this moment of when the time comes, you just disown a meaning. You just surrender, don't control it. Not interested in the clay parts of mold is sitting next to the path, trying to unfold it. Not waiting for the fruits to fall down towards the let it go. Now flowing, feeling quite good. So you take steps up instead of towards the water rush, feeling freedom with nothing to hold. We've been taught to that you always turn to gold. But now we are learning when you let it go, it overflows with the care to take, because okay, it is on the high power working deeper when the seeds are sown. And when the seeds are true, then the seeds are gold. But the real gold is dry when it starts to flow. When it does, you smile because now spent a long time running, I never knew then what I know now. That the fruits they always come in, but you can go around just knocking them down. Takes a long time to show when we plant the seeds then, and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around. If you're out there, sing along with me. If you're out there, I'm dying to believe that you're out there. Stand up and say it loud if you're out there. Tomorrow starting now. Now, now. No more broken promises, no more calls to war. Unless you love and peace that we are really fighting for. We can destroy hunger, we can conquer hate. Put down the arms and raise your voice, we are joining us today. Oh, I was looking for a song to sing, search for a leader, but the leader was me. We were looking for a world to change. We can be heroes, just go on and say if you're out there. Sing along with me if you're out there. I'm dying to believe that you're out there. Stand up and say it loud if you're out there. Tomorrow starting now. Third send a prayer to the ones up above. All the hate that you heard has turned your spirit to a dove. Ooh, your spirit to a dove. Ooh. I was jogging with the crowd, putting my brain up in the ground, falling like ashes to the ground, hoping my feelings they would drown. But they never did, ever did. I've been flowing in liberty, till at the proper you rain down. You rain down like pain. You made me a believer, believer. Pain, you break me down and build me a believer, believer. Pain, oh let the bullets fly, oh let them rain. My life, my love, my drive, it came from pain. You made me a believer, believer. Last thing, last by the grave, saw the fire and the flame, saw the feast of the future, the blood in my veins, oh, ooh, the blood in my veins, oh, ooh. But they never did, ever did. I've been flowing in liberty, till I turn up when you rain down like pain. You made me a believer, believer. Pain, you break me me down and build me up, believer, believer. Pain, oh let the bullets fly, oh let them rain. My life, my love, my job, it came from pain. You made me a believer, believer. Thank you.
Wow, good job, everyone. Thank you. Give it up for the 3 rock stars in the house. Wonderful TFI playlist was sung. And finally, our last performers of Darbar, this first slot at least. Give it up for Archana and Riya. Yes. Guys, can we move?
Yeah, but can we have 2? This works.
Guys, hurry up, please. Little bit. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for staying back to the people who can. Yes. Hello. To keep this in the middle. Okay. Okay. Thank you for staying back. It's the last performance. We promise to keep it short. Okay. So we are here to do a book reading. Actually, 2 months ago, Shani got in touch with the 2 of us. And she said that we have this thing called 8 C's. And we were like, we know that. We taught that in the classroom. And she said that up to this point, we've spoken about like compassion, curiosity, and we said Mahatma Gandhi and Ambedkar and G.R.D. Tata, and they all have it there. We felt like, and that's when she said that actually the person a child gets impacted by the most is the teacher in front of them. And we realized that in the 15 years of the fellowship, there have been so many teachers who've actually embodied these values right in front of our students. So we've identified 8 alumni, each who embody one of the 8 C's, and we've written a story on their life. Actually, Shivani, who was just here a couple of minutes ago, she is Miss Curiosity. She's started something called Third Space in Jaipur, and she's the one who's embodied curiosity. We've got Mr. Compassion as Mr. Kishan, who works at the Gandhi Ashram. He truly holds the values of Mahatma Gandhi in his work, and that's been incredibly inspiring. We've got Miss Courage, who is Himakshi, who is supposed to be here.
She's just left.
Okay. Himakshi, who's started an incredible school. She's Miss Courage in our book. We've got Miss Collaboration, who's Merlia, who is a Teacher India staff member in Chennai. We've got Miss Communication, who's Nikita. Mr. Consciousness, Vipul. Mr. Critical Thinking is Santosha, who started Mantra for Change. And there's Mr. Creativity, who's Mr. Ishwar, who's not here, but incredible human being. We're going to do a book reading of one story and then call it a Darbar.
Sure. What we also thought is what makes a really well-written story even better for a child is if there are really cute illustrations to go along with it. So we've illustrated the book with a lot of love. So we hope that you all can enjoy them as much as we enjoyed creating the illustrations and the writing. Lastly, this is for Himakshi. Thank you so much for being you. And we're going to start reading. Remember the moment your heart raced before facing, saying, doing something that really scared you.
That's the moment. The moment Miss Courage comes alive.
Young Miss Courage used to wonder, why did Grandpa ask me not to watch TV but take the remote to see this morning news?
Why are brothers allowed to go out at night when I'm not?
Why are my teachers rude to classmates who aren't scoring as well as me?
Unafraid. She would voice her confusion time and again.
What I would say is, can you
Don't
stand
say
up and not
Taking risks and doing what felt right to her was her thing.
She topped her class, took a bold step, didn't listen to the advice to choose science, signed up for a liberal arts degree, and zoomed off to a newly opened university in Pune.
She met people who had had very different lives from her own.
They would sit for hours and hours and hours sharing stories of their different worlds.
These stories made her wonder, why do people have such difficult lives? How is there so much inequality in our communities? And what is the role of politics?
At times, the stories of her classmates would make her cry. She would shout and write to let her feelings out. She felt guilt and fear.
But her emotions were becoming her strength. They were teaching her what she really cared about.
Sometimes she would sit in silence and listen to herself. Sometimes she would question herself.
Am I just a class topper? What do I stand for? What do I believe in? Who am I?
Fast forward. Miss College graduated from college and was looking for a job. Her inner voice had just one thing to say. I must work for equality and justice in some way.
So she left opportunities at big companies behind and chose to teach full time.
Miss Courage was now a grade 3 teacher. This wasn't easy. Her students hadn't had a teacher before, and there wasn't much support at school. But she didn't let that stop her.
No.
She worked with her students, faced challenges, and taught them to face their own.
Miss Courage was on a roll. She realized that education is a powerful tool against inequality.
For the next decade, she worked at different levels of different school systems, searching for a way to bring equality and justice to students of all ages.
One day, her inner voice asked her a question again.
Don't our nation's leaders have the power to bring equality and justice to every person? What's happening?
As she searched for an answer, she came across men from powerful families, some with criminal records buying votes with false promises before the elections.
She found leaders who were dividing the country.
Her questions got bolder. What is the state of politics today? Where is the equality, liberty, fraternity, and justice that all Indians are promised?
That's when she took one of the most courageous steps. She quit her high-paying job and started a school with a partner.
A different kind of school. A school for India. She called this the Indian School of Democracy.
Her students were people interested in joining politics, especially women and youngsters from small communities.
The school trained them in leadership, politics, and constitutional values.
Her mission: to create the next generation of Gandhi, Ambedkar, Savitribai Phule, and Rani Lakshmibai from India's roots.
To build a movement where people with courage unite, raise questions, and take action in a democratic way.
Miss Courage has met many powerful politicians. Some are kind, some not so nice.
She asks them bold and sometimes uncomfortable questions. Coming from a woman, they often don't take her questions well.
But Miss Courage's voice doesn't shake.
It isn't easy, she says, but it's simple.
Every time she has a difficult choice to make, she closes her eyes and connects with the friend she has inside. In her stillness, she asks, what feels right to her? What feels right for the people she serves?
She listens to her feelings and her inner voice gives her the answer.
Often, the answer is the most difficult, most daring, least trodden path to take.
Sometimes it tells her to stand up against her own people too.
She feels fear. Fear of standing alone, fear of loneliness, but that doesn't stop her.
With her heart racing, her palms sweating, and the promise of equality and justice in her heart, she takes that less trodden path, the risky one.
And when her inner voice asks, were you courageous enough to be true to yourself today?
Miss Courage can humbly say, yes, I did well today.
It's her.
Thank you so much. I think the books are available outside.
Yeah.
Yes. So please go get them and read the other stories. And that's a wrap, everyone. Thank you so much. Please give yourselves a round of applause. I think collectively we made it to the deadline. Thank you so much. Please go and chat with the folks who you connected with the most. And there's a very, very powerful session coming up right after this. So if you want to hang around, please do that. And if not, there is another Darbar slot later today at 3 p.m. So please come for that and we'll chat more about what Darbar can do for you there. Thank you, everyone.